Hey kids, welcome everyone. Mark Miller here. Rory is not with us yet. I think he's going to be showing up in about 30 minutes. I've got an earlier show today. I've got to get out of here, take the family to the airport, dropping them off, and they're going to have a little mini vacation while I stay behind and maybe get some coding done. Get to work my butt off for a while. I'm excited about that. And what else? I think that's it. Let's kind of jump right into where we are with regards to continuing our work. Michael Jolly's out there said, "Yeehaw! Let's write some code." Yeah, I'm totally into it.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah, Perexon is here. Will Bennett's here. We've got a lot of folks out here in the chat room. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Okay, so let's see. I put a link out here to the releases that we're working with regards to the software here. Nope, that didn't work. I moved the tab to that monitor and it was still loading the page, so I think it wanted to. Can't reach that page. Let's try again. There we go. Episode 107 begin. That's where we are right there. So that's today's show. Last time on Thursday, we were having some problems with our test runner, and we discovered that the running test was slow, both with the CodeRushed test runner and with the Visual Studio test runner. And after a little more investigation, I discovered that it was related to the folder www.root that we had in here. And in that folder, I've got a whole bunch of assets for this, massive kind of game and set of overlays that we've been creating. And there's something like 7 gigabytes of PNG files out there, about 20,000 apparently. So once I right-clicked that and removed it from the project here in the Solution Explorer, everything went back to normal expected behavior. Instead of taking about 5 minutes to run a single test, the test just ran in a couple seconds. So there's something that was going in there. Hugo's with us as well. Hugo, welcome to see you out there. Codebase Alpha, more D&D today. Yeah. So what we're going to do, I want to say as usual, I don't have a clear picture of what we're going to do, but I have a rough picture of what we're going to do. And we're going to be working in essentially two areas. We're going to be working in the D&D core down in here, and we're going to be working in the D&D tests over here. And what I want to do is I want to be able to, here, I'll bring this up right here. And I'll tell you what I want to do, and I'll also give you some reviews or review some of the changes I made since we were last on the air on Thursday, since we were last streaming live. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to take an item, for example, this ring right here, and I want it. It's got some mods, and the mods require that it be equipped right here. So I want to equip this onto a character. I want to create a test that first checks these characters' stats. Then I want to equip the ring. And after I re-equip the ring, I want to check the stats a second time to see if the modifications have been made. Now, none of this code has been written yet to do any of this. Oh, interesting. Look at this. User joined, Hugo Dahl. What is going on here? Get user, we couldn't find him. I want to... What's my exception? No such host is known. Okay, well, I'm going to just keep running it then, because I think that's a temporary issue is what I think it might be. Will, did your test poof work? I didn't quite check to see that. I may have been looking away. I'll do one as well to see. Doesn't look like that's working right there. What are we on? We're on Let's Do This. I've got the drone game. I've got the overlay bot. They're up here. Will says it did work. I'm not seeing it though. Yeah, I don't see that. Let's do the FB for Fireball. Also not working. Let me switch to this other view. Yeah, everything should be... It's not working. Is it my... I wonder if it's my breakpoint that happened and then I was pausing for a while, if we've got a problem here. Let's try this. I'm going to go... let's refresh these. It worked after a 5-second delay for you the first time. Interesting. So that may be just the lag. I don't know. I'm going to refresh these. And actually what I should do is I should refresh the cache of these overlays. Let me go try that. I'm going to do this. So here's the dragon front overlay, refresh cache of current page. This is the one where we draw the special effects on. So there's that. And at that point, when those scroll bars go away, the dragon front overlay should be refreshed. When that happens, that's a good time to test out to see if the fireball or the poof work. Okay, so functionally, or rather architecturally, I made a big change since last time, and it had to do with I mentioned a blunder that I had made, and so I kind of made an architectural improvement, but also potentially a compromise. I think, and I think as you build software anytime, you're always kind of keeping track of areas of the code that are compromised. And there we go. There's a nice fireball over there. And let's see, do we get the poof working now too? There we go. Poof's working too. So that's pretty good. Yeah, and so basically what I did is I took the view models from my UI layer, which are here, and I took all those view models. There used to be a folder here called view models, and I took them and I moved them down into D&D core, right into here. So I've moved all those view models here. And there's a little bit of a compromise here in that these view models they're kind of, they've got some elements that are not, let's see, do we have any in item? Let's just look at these here, so what we can, if I can spot one of these, damage view model might have it, an example of what I'm looking for. Here we go. So the damage view model has got basically some properties of type either radio enum list or check enum list, and those provide a connection into the UI layers, the WPF UI layers, and they're useful at this level. However, on a lower level standpoint, if I'm talking about the damage view model, what's really happening here is the save opportunity. What's being used is the save opportunity dot value is what I'm expecting to be used here. Here we go, right here, and then typecast. So we go to the value property and typecast it to an enum, or the value property, we typecast it. Here's another enum example right here, and that's how we work with it, which is a little like bulky, but that's really what these represent, and they represent a way to get the UI to be able to create the checklist of here, for example, the damage filters right here, right? This is using that exact same thing. So this is a check enum list here, and it allows me to click a couple of these right here, and then it'll store that and save that. When I come back and select it, it'll be selected there. So it's essentially an enum. These are enums, but they're represented in the view models as either radio enum list or check enum list. This original code was given to us by Will. He was the one who suggested this. It was actually a really beautiful idea and worked really well at the WPF layer level. However, at the testing level, these are kind of higher level concepts. And for testing, you could arguably test simply with just the enums. But I didn't do that because I didn't want to create yet another lower level class. I initially started that design. I didn't like it. And so now what I did instead is I took this kind of medium level class and moved it down into D&D core. So I took elements that have kind of a UI knowledge, well, not really knowledge of the UI, but a UI foundational architectural base, and moved them down into the core. That was my compromise. So I'm aware of the compromise. I'm okay with it for now because, again, we're weighing a lot of criteria. It's not just going to be the most beautiful code, the most elegant code. We also have to get something functional, and we have to get it functional in a short time. So that's what I did. Now what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to go even further and do that. And so I think I'm going to just start out in the tests here. And I'm going to go into one of my files that's already got some tests, and I'm going to come in and I think I'm going to have to shut down things that are running here. Let's do that. Let's say debug, stop debugging, so I can actually start making changes over here. And let's manually start up. We're going to kill Chrome, but we're going to manually start up Mr. Announcer Bot and manually start up the overlay manager. Hopefully both of those will work and allow the connections. Did I get the 3D die working? No, I did not do that yet, Will. I'm up for that tomorrow maybe, though, if you want to try that. Actually, if you want to do that tomorrow, Will, I would love if you want to join me on there, because I think you had some good suggestions, and I think having those suggestions live while we stream, as opposed to dealing with the lag that might be existing. If you want to do that, let me know, and I'll Skype you in on that, and you can be a guest in the show. Love to figure that out, because there's things I want to do with the dice, and I got kind of close. The problem with the dice, the 3D dice, is I'm not an expert at all in 3JS. I was looking at 3JS, and the original dice code that I got was written for an older version of 3JS. I needed it to be able to support transparent backgrounds. That happened with a later version of 3JS based on my research. So I had to port it to the new version, and in porting the new version, it didn't work, and there were some problems. So then I downloaded another sample, and I tried to do that, and there were problems with that. So I keep hitting these problems, and I think it's my lack of expertise that's preventing me from fixing these quickly. And so if I can get another pair of eyes and a voice online with me, that would be awesome. Are we going to have to call Will Bennett Rory for consistency? Yes, Hugo, we will have to do it. We will have to do exactly that. And instead of saying like,
Will Bennett, roar.
I'm just going to have to get a Rory's awesome or something like that.
Awesome.
By the way, the sound on these should be better now. I went through every single one of these, and if you're by chance thinking about streaming out here, one of the problems that we encountered with this is that the sound for these overlay effects right here, the scene effects, I think, the Mr. Announcer Bot, right? These sound effects sound lower to me than they do out there. So I added gain to all of these, so they sounded good in my ears. But I wasn't looking at the gauge down at the bottom that tells me the volume of it. I wasn't looking at the volume meter, and they were all out in the red. And I went through and readjusted all of them, removed the gains that I had manually added. So those should be less frightening, less scary. Yeah, we'll do it Rory light. So yeah, well, if you want to do that and help me out with that, I think I'm going to need somebody with a little more experience than I got to figure this out. Once I figured out that, though, I'm super excited about the possibilities, right? I want to be able to roll the dice, like, for example, to show disadvantage. Disadvantage is a Dungeons & Dragons concept where you roll 2 dice and you take the lowest number. Or you advantage, where you roll 2 dice and take the highest number. I want to roll those dice out, and where the dice land, I want to figure out which one's the higher one or the lower one, depending on which one we're doing, and then I want to highlight it. I also have special effects geared up for if you roll a 20 or you roll a 1. So if you roll a 1, I've got glass shattering and breaking all over. And if you roll a 20, I've got just a beautiful fireball effect that's going to wrap around that 20-sided dice and just go with a 20, right? So when somebody rolls it, there'll be extra effects if they roll a really good roll. Okay, so here we go. In this test class here, I was just adding some stuff here. This is a really simple class, but one of the things in Dungeons & Dragons is you specify what your roll is, your dice roll is, with essentially a string. 1d8 is 1 8-sided dice, 11d10 is 11 10-sided dice, and then plus 44 means you add 44 to the result at the end. So a lot of times an attack roll will be described as this, that sort of thing. So in order to maintain consistency and ensure I didn't make any typing mistakes, I created a new dice class, and it's just got these. By the way, these were super easy to build. Once I just created 2 of them, I just kept hitting Shift-Enter on it, and check it out right here. CodeRushed does duplicate line and just figures out what's going on in there and makes the change automatically. So here I've got a D12 times 23, and over here that's equal to the string 23D12, right? Very, very cool stuff right there. We actually only need to here because we're not going to go crazy. Okay, so I've got these for standardization over here. So again, those are there. But let's go back over here. We're going to create a new test method. And so I'm going to type new test class. I'm using CodeRushed, so I'm just going to hit the letter T, hit the space bar. We're going to call this the combat tests is what we're going to do. And I'm going to say test initiative, I think. So initiative is one of the things we have to solve with combat, and that is decides who goes first. So let's move this type to file. That's one of our combat tests right over there. Actually, and I want to do another one. I want to create, I think I'm going to save this for a bit. Let's drop a marker here. We're going to come back in a bit. Let's create another test class here. This is going to be our mod tests, I think. Do I already have a mod test? Oh, I do have one. Let's get out of here. Let's go look at my mod test, what we've got, because I want to actually... okay. I want to come in and do something else here. And I want to say test item equip mod. Like that. And I want to work with that. Let's go ahead and do this. Can we say debug, start new instance? Is that going to lock up my files if I do that? And somewhere in here, I think I've got a storage class, a storage support class that I added into my test pieces right here. Hold on a second. What's going on? Looks like I've got no response in Visual Studio right now. Wait, here we go. Now it's moving. It's funny, I didn't see it with my, on this screen, I saw it on, I was alt-tabbing and I saw all the screens lined up in alt-tab, and then I saw Visual Studio start to change there. Okay, so are we locked now? It looks like we are locked, in fact, so we can't make changes to this while it's up and running. That's okay, I just want to come over here and show you what I've done here. So I want to take this Ring of the Faithful Leap. I just made this up because I wanted to have a bunch of mods and I wanted to check them right here. And this is what I want to grab and find this, then I want to apply it and equip it. So let's do that. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to grab the name of this because I created a helper class to help me find these. So I just copied that to the clipboard. And yeah, again, I have no response. There we go. Interesting. Okay. So now I'm going to, in my mod test down here, I'm going to, I think I called it the storage helper or something, test storage helper dot get existing item. And I'm going to pop in that right there, and then declare local on that. That's going to be the ring of leaping, like that. Okay, and there's my ring of leaping. Now I need a character to put it on. So I've got the character builder out there, and it can build like a test wizard, like this. And declare local there, right there. That's going to be my test wizard. And then I want to come in and we need to see what its existing speed is. So we're going to do assert equal. We're expecting an existing speed of 30 for the test wizard.speed. Pretty sure everybody's defaulting to that. That's the speed. That's one of the things that the ring is modifying. The ring is also modifying its dexterity. Let's go see what our test wizard dexterity is going to be. It, I think, is built, it's a random dexterity, I think is what it is. Generate random attributes. That's what's happening here. So we're doing that. So I'm going to hard code it with something like this. So we'll come in here. We're going to say test wizard dot dexterity is equal to 12. Test wizard dot strength is equal to 11, and it's going to add, the ring's going to add +1 to both of those, and test wizard dot equip. Look at that. It looks like I've written some code. I'm not sure if this is even, so we're gonna do that. Test the speed, the dexterity. We also get advantage on skill checks. So I want a function here that tells me whether I have, let's see, what's good attack roll do? That returns just, okay. Get attack dice. Get skill check dice. And I'm going to pass in skill dot athletics. And that should be, let's go declare that. And we're going to need an enum for this. So it's going to be dice roll, I think is what it's going to call it. And it's going to be normal. So it's basically going to be three options. Normal, you have advantage, or you have disadvantage. Like that. Semicolon here gets me out of the enum right there. Okay, so there's my dice roll right there. That's what I want to return from that. I'm going to go move it to its own file. Okay, hit escape to get back. Escape to get back down here. This is going to return a dice roll and get skill check dice, like that. And I think for now, we're just going to say return dice roll.normal. I just used the R template there to get that, by the way. I was just in here, just R space like that, and it just suggests that. Okay, so I'm going to do this for now, and then we're going to have like a comment here to implement this. Notice I've got apply mod permanently and apply mod temporarily. I've got some ideas already on how to do this. I wrote these a long time ago, so we're kind of working our way through it. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say assert equal. The expected value is going to be dice roll dot normal, like that, and get that the athletics check. Do it again for the acrobatics check, which is the second piece that this is going to mod. Okay, and so this is all what we're expecting at the beginning of this. At the end, it's 1 second. I just got a reminder to pause Dropbox because that'll probably improve performance and things like that. Okay, and let's see. So we've checked our rolls there. Our speed is that. We want to also check that our dexterity.
Good question.
Oh, I got something over here. Hold on. 12. And there. What do we got over here? What theme is that? R4416 is asking what theme. Tools, options. This should be the dark theme right there. That's what I'm using. I have modified the colors though. That is a true story. I have done this. Automatically save my settings here. Import and export settings. This is really interesting. Anyway, those are my settings there. I was thinking maybe I could export these to another location here, but I'm not sure how much of that is just color and how much is it a bunch of other things. But that's what I'm doing. I think, yeah, it's essentially the built-in dark theme with a few changes. Like my comments, for example, are in blue instead of green. Comments are blue, like this. So, and I think I've made a few other minor changes as well. But I think to my, like these are my enum colors here. I think those might have changed as well. So, okay, so we're checking. We want to check that our dexterity is this, and our strength is going to be 11. I think I want to come in here. Can I come in here? I want to declare introduce constant For all occurrences of 11, inserts local constant. That's what I want right there. We're going to call this initial strength, like that. And then that way that takes care of that. And then let's do the same for this guy right here. Introduce constant, all there, and we're going to call this typing, but there's no response. Oh, here comes Rory. Here comes Rory. Rory, you're sounding super.
Hello.
Your ring is sounding so loud. I bet you're loud. See what everybody says about that.
Hey everybody, how loud am I?
Yeah,
There's
we'll
a question.
see how it does. Everything else I think was okay, but I think we're gonna have to drop this down. Ooh, I just saw something very interesting that I've never seen and noticed before. Look at this, OBS, super low over here. How is sound going over there, kids? Let us know. Rory, good to have you with us, by the way.
Hey, good to be here. Good to be here.
Rory knows how to make an entrance. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to boost this a little bit and drop that. I'm a little, let's see if this messes with anybody, if anybody is liking or hating that right there. So you're good, and you're with us.
Yes, I am. I'm here.
That's so great, and a few minutes early even. We're excited.
Relative terms, sure. Although you're here a lot earlier. So
You're right. Yeah, well, 30 minutes earlier. So yeah, I got to run to the airport today. So I wanted to get the show out and get everybody to the airport in time, so we weren't having stress. Here's what I'm doing, buddy. I am like creating a test right here, and it's for I've got my ring of leaping, which is coming from our app, our Dungeon Master app. I have a test storage helper that lets me grab an existing item if I specify its name. So anything we build in the app, I can then grab and use in test cases later. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Hugo's asking, do they not have vehicles where you are, or just like running? No, there's vehicles here. We're good.
You're planning to run to the airport. So.
Yeah, well, okay, gotcha. No, I'm not going to do that. There's an airport. So we live in Costa Rica. There's a big international airport about an hour's drive away. But there's also a very small airport located like right with cows, like practically on the field. And it's not too far away. It's closer. It's about a 30-minute drive away. And I actually took my wife, Karen, who's known in here, shows up as sex positive sometimes in the show, who, by the way, she's going to be gone from me for about a week or so. She might actually show up in here, because she misses me to, watch me do the show or something. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Keep tabs on you. That would be fun. You keep tabs. Make sure that guy is not like, yeah, I'll do the show, and they'll just be like, instead of me, there'll be a blanket covering some pillows, and she'll be like, what the hell is going on? What's going on? So, Will Bennett says, pleasantly louder than normal, about the same level as Mark. Okay, good. Hugo says, excellent. Burn down the house is what he says. And I say,
cats away, my school. Yeah, burn down the house.
What's happening? What did you do?
Whoa.
What did you do, Hugo? You didn't do that. I hit a special magic button over here. Chat room on fire. Rory, you can take a look at that in the stream if you'd missed that.
Indeed.
Okay, so we're basically grabbing our ring of leaping, and the ring of leaping modifies dexterity by 1, your strength by 1, and also gives you advantage on athletics and acrobatics, and it modifies your speed as well, which it looks like or let's do this. Let's say, you know what we could do? No, I'm okay. All right, so we're going to say testwizard.speed. We'll make sure we've got the speed is equal to 32 is what we're going to do as well. Let's go ahead and come in here. Introduce constant. Boom. We're going to call this initial speed, like that. So I've got some initial values right here. We're going to then call equip, and then we're going to come in and we're going to check to see what the deals are on this. So now we want to see is we now want to get a die roll back here that we have advantage, because it's going to give us this. Now I haven't written any of this. We're probably not going to get all this working by the end of the show, like in another 29 minutes, but we're going to head in that direction is what we're going to do. So we're expecting to have advantage on both of these. My initial dexterity +1 is my new expected result, and same thing with my strength. And now this is going to be my initial Speed, looks like I got a problem up above. R equal 30, this should be initial speed. Whoops, initial speed. And this should be speed. So I anticipate that if we run this, let's just run this right now. We run the test. I think we're going to fail right here on line 82 is what I expect.
Okay.
So let's see how we get, because everything else is like, you know, setting the property, checking to make sure the property is set. So pretty straightforward. Okay. So there's our failure. And it's right where I expected. Okay, line 32. I want to change these down over here because I want to solve these last. I'm just putting them at the end. And, oops, this should be speed. Looks like I was totally not paying attention there. Initial speed. Okay.
Yeah, Will Bennett was there in the chat room with that one. I wasn't sure which line he was referring to because you just moved some things, but yes, that was indeed needed to be changed. That's
I think
good.
that's it. Okay, so now I want to look at what happens inside equip, see what I'm doing in there. Ooh, we're adding the item, and the item we're setting its equipped state to true. That is awesome. So next, now the question is this, is when do we check and calculate what the mod does? Is the question. I think, let's run it a second. Let's run this piece again. Debug, start new instance. I think there's a UI piece I want to show you. That's why I'm doing this. I'm waiting for it to come up, start up. I see we've got the little icon right over here to my right.
Yep, a little bit of build.
Here it comes. All right. So in the mods, we have, this is the repeats. I was thinking when it was applied, but yeah, so I was thinking there was something that the mod said when it was applied, but it's really just these pieces right here. So I think, so the question is, how are we going to make this change? Is it, in other words, we need to, if we look at our character, for example, this is our character declaration right here. We have, it's a creature. And interesting. Okay, so it does not have, okay, hold on. I want to go to creature. This is where I'm expecting to see it. There we go. So the creature has got these properties right here, is what the creature has. These are declared as fields here, but basically these are the abilities: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, charisma. Well, if we're going to modify one of these, we kind of want to keep the base at where it is and then change the mods so that we so that it works. I think that to do that, I almost think we want to have.
So it's almost like the effects belonging to an item are sort of decorators for the creature. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and it's like, well, here's the thing: if I start grabbing and referring to dexterity, then that means I'm going to have to modify dexterity. In other words, I'm going to have to change its value when I put a ring on, right? Or something along those lines. When I take it off, I'm going to have to change it back. I'm not a big fan of this doing deltas as I'm doing this because they're incredibly prone to bugs, right? Yeah. If I forget to take something off when I take off a ring, if somehow there's a bug there and I put it back on, take it off, put it back on, then I'm just building up my dexterity all the time.
Sure, yeah.
What I want to do instead is I want to have, a base dexterity and a base strength and a base constitution, all of those, and then essentially we come out with the, we calculate the temp stuff that we're going to mod and retrieve that and give that to you. So
what if the strength through charisma were, instead of fields, they were, well, possibly read-only properties, which were to return the inner field value that had been assigned, coupled with all active effects that were assigned to the creature at a given point in time.
Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do. So that's kind of where I'm headed now. So that's my next place. My next job is to do that. So I want to turn. I want to do, I think, a couple things here. One is I want to rename this to uppercase. I was using lowercase to indicate that it was a field and it was going to be compatible with something I was going to send over Signal R to Jason. Hugo says, you read my mind, Rory. Be careful where you tread in there. Yeah. Yeah. Careful. All right. So I want to do strength, and then I want to put a getter and a setter in here. Get and a set. Like that. I'm going to work my way and get it correct here eventually. And there. So I've got my getter and setter. Then I want to, and I essentially want to do this all the way down here, I think is what I want to do. I'm going to rename this dexterity. And then I'm going to come out here and do this. Rename this to constitution. And come out and do that. Rename that to intelligence. And come out and do this. And finally for charisma as well, do the same thing. Like that. I thought CodeRushed had a convert to property feature. I don't think it has a convert to, I don't think it can do this. You can encapsulate, and that's built into Visual Studio already. But I do have this. Now that I have this, I can come in here and convert to property with backing field. Okay, like that. So I am going to do this now for each one of these, because I want to be able to, put some mod stuff in there too. So next I want to, on the get, I want to say something along the lines of, if need to recalculate mods, then recalculate mods. Or maybe we'll just have a, well, we're just going to do something like this. Recalculate mods if necessary. Like that. That's going to be my function I'm going to call. Let's declare that. Let's put it up here. Like that. Recalculate the mods if necessary. We're going to do something there. And then we're going to return dexterity plus dexterity mods. Or wait. Get mods. Because I'm thinking I could use a dictionary to hold all the mods that we calculate and index them by name. Is what I'm thinking now. Instead of having a dedicated variable for each one of these, yeah. I think I just want to I want to do this. Get mods. In that case, the mod is going to be a number that we're going to add or subtract to it. It's going to be an int. Is what I think it is. Or we could do, let's do this. Wait, I have a better idea. What do you want to say, Rory?
I'm just wondering how the item represents the effect that it's currently going to have at the moment.
The item,
Yeah,
so the item has a list of mods, and that's it. That's all we really know. We're going to have to run through the item's mods. So what we're going to have to do is when we say get the mods, recalculate mods, we need to clear all our existing mods out that we found. This is kind of why I like this piece in here, like this.
So I was wondering whether the creature you don't necessarily need a list of mods. Well, you can do it either way. But if you had a list of equipment that was equipped, you could iterate that list inside of get mods.
I have that.
And not store it so much as just dynamically return the pieces that currently had effects, which then applied to that particular attribute.
Yeah, so that's what, I don't think I want to iterate it every single time. I think what I want to do is when things change, like that should impact mod calculation.
Oh, I see. So when you equip piece of equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we...
Actually, Hugo Dahl's agreeing there. He says, wouldn't recalculating be better on the setter?
Not in this case. So here's what I'm doing on this. In this one here, so what I'm doing is if you set dexterity to something, it's going to maybe come back as a different value, is kind of what I've decided to do here with this. But we could also make this, actually, we could make this read only like you initially were thinking, because this is a little weird to set to, in other words, if I have like armor on and I set my dexterity to 11 and then I check my dexterity, it might come back with 15 because I'm wearing the armor. I was okay with that, but it doesn't look good in a test. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you set the base dexterity, and then you're reading out something that isn't the base dexterity.
Yeah.
Essentially the same location.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's rename this to.
So what about the recalculating of the mods?
Base
Not so much
dexterity.
inside of the get, but inside of the add piece of equipment method, or equip.
Yeah, that's what I want to. Well, I don't want to recalculate there, but I want to mark it dirty there.
Okay.
And then I want to recalculate it before acquisition every time. In fact, we can just do this.
That's good.
Like this. And I don't know if I want to say, yeah, let's do this. We can do this. Get mods.
That is a stage better because it lets you equip, say, 3 different pieces of equipment, but then only do one calculation when you then read something now known to be dirty, albeit because of 3 different things.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do here. So we're going to do get mods. The get mods is going to return a double. That looks good. Recalculate mods if necessary. So we're going to say, and then we're going to say return calculated mods of maybe ability.toStir. Is that going to I forget what the enums. Is this going to give me the name of the enum?
I believe you get the value, yeah.
I hope so. I feel like there's a secret here with enums that I've forgotten about it. Calculated mods, that's going to be, we're going to create a new dictionary, indexed by strings of doubles, like that. And that's going to be our calculated mods right there. And that was CodeRushed, by the way. If you've never seen that before, we're just typing in ND dot, so new dictionary of S comma D. And that's how I got all that so quickly. All right, so there we go. Okay, so there's our calculated mods, recalculate mods if necessary. We need to jump into this. Whoops, this is not.
You need to access that with square brackets, I think, in the line 68.
Yep, I'm on it. I got it. And guess what I forgot to do, Rory? I forgot to share my screen with you.
That's okay. I'm
such a
managing
pro.
I think the delay is pretty short.
Good.
At the moment, we've got
Yep.
very little lag.
I was moving to it and starting to fix it just as you were saying it. So there you go. You've got a screen share now, Rory. So
I have indeed.
Welcome to my world now. What do we got?
Time
we got
travel's fun.
16 minutes here. So dexterity, calculate mods, get mods, recalculate mods if necessary. So here's where we need to kind of add that code. Wait, why is this returning a double? Clearly no need to.
Codebase Alpha asks, do you have VS IntelliSense switched off? And I believe you've got IntelliRush switched on, which is essentially the same thing.
I do.
But better.
That's what I have. I have that, which is essentially the same thing, and I'm using that inside of Visual Studio 2019. Preview version, I think it's 4. That's what I think it is. Preview 5. That's what I'm in. Okay, so recalculate mods if necessary. I need to set a breakpoint over here. We've got base dexterity here. That's all good. I think I want to make this public though. Go back to public on that. Base dexterity. Let's do the same with constitution here. Base constitution. Like that. Let's do the same with intelligence.
There is one potential downside to that at the moment, which is that if you set base intelligence, there's nothing to mark the calculation as dirty.
You are correct, sir. Well, but that's okay though, because the get mods will still return, and it doesn't matter because that calculation includes the piece that you're modifying. So if I modify base dexterity.
Oh, right. So it's only recalculating the mods if it's dirty, but obviously there's still a return value. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So we're good with that. Okay, so there's base intelligence here. It's all right. I'm getting there.
You're correcting a whole bunch of sets, but I believe you removed set from the dexterity in the first place.
Right. You're right. Okay, and then we're going to come down plus get mods. So we're gonna bring this all the way down. Now I intend to have another get mods later that's going to take something different from an ability piece in here. But I wanted the code to look good. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm going to create a couple overloads for get mods, so that I'm going to pass in something that looks that looks good and is easy to read here. That's what I'm looking for here. So when your
Yep.
eyes go down here, you see base intelligence, ability.intelligence. That's what we're seeing here. So that's what I want. We're going to do the same thing here with wisdom. Get rid of this. Rename this to the base wisdom, like that. Make this public. Like that. Base charisma. And are we done? Is this all 6 of these? I think it is.
Looks good, yeah.
And charisma. Let's just double check. I've got charisma, wisdom, intelligence and constitution, dexterity. Okay, so that feels way better. My get mods has got to recalculate mods if necessary. I think somewhere in here we're going to need a Boolean, need to recalculate mods,
Sure, yeah.
like that. And we're going to come down here. We're going to say if we need to calculate mods, or if we don't, rather, then we're going to return. Then we're going to set this to false down at the end. And what do I want to do? I want to let's make this protected at least, so descendants can modify this. And let's go find that equip function we were in. And this is inside creature. Perfect. Need to recalculate mods is equal to true. Okay. So we've got that. Let's go look at equipment. I want to go look at equipment. What have we got? It's a list. I think I want to change it to an observable collection.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So TOC should give me a type reference to observable collection. Well, I thought it would. It's not giving me one here. TOC, can I get it down here? No. That's unexpected. Note the time. See
Yep.
why. I want to come down here and say new. Well, is it because I deleted this and it's syntactically not right? Could that be it? Let's go back and put this in so we get some syntactically correct code. Okay, let's type in TOC here. Nope, still no. NOC dot, oh, is it because, I know why it is, because it's a generic type and I didn't specify the parameters to it. So I was just trying to get it here. So in other words, if I did this, if I did TOC dot what's on the clipboard, then it would give it to me right there.
There we go.
So, all right, so that's what it is. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll get observable collection here, come down, paste that there. Whoops, I didn't want to paste that. I just want to paste this. There we go. There we go.
It's worth pointing out that those watching, if you obviously you're seeing these CodeRushed features, think that's pretty useful. I wonder if I need to have Visual Studio 2019 in order for CodeRushed to be able to do this. The answer is no. CodeRushed, as I understand it, well, we've got versions going back way back, but this particular edition works on the basis of the Roslyn engine and therefore is compatible, to my knowledge, with 2015 and 2017 as well. So if you haven't yet moved to the latest version of stuff, in fact, even the version before that, you should still be able to use CodeRushed to get these features working in exactly this way.
Yeah. So now that these are observable collections, I can come in now and I want to listen to when the collections change. So let's look at only the events, collection change. There we go. And wait, did we generate code in the wrong place? I think it's because the code wasn't compilable. That's probably why. Okay, move that out there. That's all right. Don't worry about that. Let's take these all down. Let's rename this. Can't rename the element. What's my problem?
Did we move the declarations inside the constructor rather than copy them? And thus we have now removed the declarations of those items?
No, they're there.
No, they're still there.
Hold
Okay.
on a second. But there's something going on with my, what's going on here? Operator cannot be applied to operands. Oh, I need the collection change at the beginning. That's my problem. Okay. That was my problem. Okay. And there. Okay, there we go. And then now I want to rename this over here. We're going to say this, this is going to be collection changed. Item collection change is what I'm going to call this. And now that I've got that, we are going to come in here and we're going to say, guess what? We need to recalculate mods. That's equal to true. So this is like a way better architecture than like you know, forcing a calculation every time, because now we only calculate when we need to. And it's also a more fun architecture to test against, because once we get it right and it's all working, we know we've got something really efficient, that sort of thing. So I'm feeling good about that. Here's where we're going to need our big fat to do here. Why not just say, let's stop at the debugger. What is it? It's system.diagnostics.debugger, system.diagnostics.debugger. No, what is it? Where's my break? There it is.
That's it.
Break. That's what I wanted to get to. Debugger.break. Okay. So so good. So that'll get us our breakpoint right there. And now I think we can debug the test. Is what I think we can do.
Excellent.
We were in the mod tests right here. We're going to say we're going to change this to base dexterity is equal to that. We might have some compile problems now that it's occurred to me, because we've got this all over. Why is strength working now? Strength, it's got a setter. And it looked like we missed one here. This should be base strength.
Sat above dexterity. We went from dexterity downwards. That's what it was.
That's my base strength. Let's make it public.
We need plus mods, or plus get mods.
Ability, whoops. Uh-oh. Dot, come on. Strength. Okay, cool. Just want to tab the next reference down here. There we go. Yeah, okay, we just missed that one. Everything else is good. All right, feels good. Okay, so there's my base strength. That means over here, this is going to be base strength. What other problems do I have? I bet I got some.
Should we be setting base speed instead of speed as well? In fact, that's interesting. Does speed also have a setter that we're not eliminated?
Yeah, we haven't done anything with speed yet. I think
Okay.
you're right is the answer. We're going to have to do that. Expression embodied members on those. Maybe. Let's go see what's happening. We're building. So there's the progress bar over there to my right. Let's give away a copy of CodeRushed. We're going to wrap up in like 5 minutes, Roy. We got to end right on time. I'm bummed. I'm like totally like wanting to do this for longer. I'm totally in the mood to like code for another
Thing is,
couple
it's
hours.
working, isn't it? It's that rolling feeling as you can see the incremental improvements coming in. It just does want to drag you forward and keep going.
Still building. The progress bar is right behind me. There it is right there. You can see just getting closer. Yeah, I think that may be a good idea to simplify those. Finally, a new car. Yeah, that's right. I think today we're gonna do it.
If only there was time to ship the whole car. And unfortunately, the trip to the airport probably makes that a little bit harder.
Oh, you're right. We shouldn't give it away today.
I have to do some code rush.
So just CodeRushed. We'll give away a copy of CodeRushed today because, you know, CodeRushed. Okay, so let's see. We're still building. Holy cow.
Still building.
It's right behind me. You can't see it, but the progress bar still running here. Let's prove it. There it is right there. Still going. So not sure why that's taking so long. Let's see. We have any errors? We do. Let's see what we got here. I want to get down to the core. I think the problem is the core is. Oh yeah, because I changed these, the filter catches. This is going to take an observable collection.
Right, yeah.
Is what it's going to take right there. And what other, we're going to have a number of problems like this is what we're going to do. Oh, look at this. I've got over the stream, I've got this Something is wrong with one of the overlays. There's a failure message being shown here. And I need something bright to put behind it so that we can read what it says here. HTTP error 502.5 process failure. Can you write this down for me, Rory?
Yeah.
I think it's an OBS bug is what I think it is. That's what I think it might be. I think it's related to OBS. OBS is showing this on the stream right now is what it's doing. So,
yeah. So that's like an error coming back in theory from the web server, which is, of course, what OBS is looking to.
Oh, and I have it running manually today here too, which could be part of the problem. So, all right, so let's do this. So I've headed in the right direction. Unfortunately, I've got to stop. So we're going to do that. We're going to give away a copy of CodeRushed. And today's winner, let's do this. Wait, I want to change change this and then change it back. Is that going to clear that up? It's really not. Who is that? Let's see. Is it the drone front overlay? Hold on. Whoops, somebody just changed it. Hold on. Don't change it a second, folks. I want to see what it is. It's not the overlay. Is it the drone game? It's the drone game. The drone game was the one that was causing that problem. Let me go and refresh its cache and see how that works. Interesting. I refreshed it, but it didn't go away. It only goes away when I do that. All right. Fine. Give away a copy of CodeRushed.
Danacron 5.
Danacron 5. Yeah. Apologies, Danacron 5, that your name is behind that error message. That's not happy for me. But, you know, sometimes you get lucky like that, I guess. And that just happened today. So, yeah, I don't think the rainbow is working either. I just changed, hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, interesting. That is unfortunate for the first 5 Danacrons, is what Hugo says. So, yeah, that's what I think we're going to do. I got to end the show. I got to get out of here. I'm going to check in this code. That's the direction I'm heading in. But because I'm without family for at least a week, I may be doing like more shows. So we'll see if we end up doing that. There may be more of these out here in terms of what we're building, where we're going. Hugo is suggesting 24-hour streams. Yeah, that would be crazy. I'm not going to do that. Will says, nice stream. Have a safe drive. See ya.
Yes.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here. We will see you tomorrow. I'm going to see if there's anybody we can raid, and we'll get out of here. Rory, thanks so much, by the way, for being here and as always, doing everything you do. Will, do you want to show up tomorrow? Codebase officer.
See what's going on there.
Nope, I don't want you to play. It looks like I can't raid anybody right now. Nobody I'm out there following is up and live right now. So we'll do that. We'll just get out of here. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.